Welcome to the third module of Applying Thoughts. In this third module, we will cover creative problem solving. So in creative problem solving, we will understand what is creativity and what are its core principles and what is the 4-step creative problem solving model. Now, creative problem solving, as we have discussed in module 2 as well, is most applicable to complicated and complex problems. The problems where the cause and effect relationship exists, but it's a little complicated, needs analysis and innovative ideas are required. So before we start, let me ask you a question. What is creativity? Think of an answer for a few seconds, and then in the next slide, I'll share with you what do I understand by creativity. In my years of experience, every time I ask this question in my training, I get multitudes of answers, very different answers. But some of the common ones are which include coming up with a new idea, doing something which is not being done before, something which is related to innovation. Yes, true. All of these are included under creativity. Creativity, as I have come to understand it, is the ability to modify self-imposed constraints. When I say self-imposed constraints, what I mean by it are the answers that we give ourselves, what we tell ourselves, or what the people around us tell us for not thinking out of the box. Some of the common answers or self-imposed constraints I have seen people living with are: I'm not the creative type, don't have the time, not in this environment, it doesn't work in my organization, this is not how we do things here. These are some of the most common things I've seen, I've heard people say over the years. And these are some of the things or statements or thoughts that stop us from literally moving out of the box. And creativity is an ability to think outside of what is visible, of what is the common domain knowledge. Creativity is an ability. That means all people are creative. Absolutely. Everyone in your team, in your organization, around you is creative. People vary with regard to their creative ability. Agree, everyone will not be creative at the same level, in the same domain, in the same way, but a certain level of creativity exists in everyone. And this is the most important thing that I want you all to understand, because the tool of creativity that we will talk about works best when you're working with your team, with people around. The first thing you need to remember is that everyone around you is creative. Their ideas may be different from you, and that's the beauty of creativity. They all will have their own different levels of creativity. Some people will be able to think very complex level creativity, and some will limit it to maybe their technical domain or their knowledge area, or very simple ideas, but they all nonetheless will have certain level of creativity. And the most important thing is, with practice, whatever your level of creative ability is, it can be enhanced, it can be improved. What you see on your screen is an invention by a Kumhar in Rajasthan, and this is called a mitti cooler, an earthen fridge. A very simple technology. Just by filling the water at the top of this earthen pot, they can maintain a temperature which can keep your food and your perishables fresh for up to 10 days. This is a real life example of innovation and creativity at its best. The best part is not just simply how portable, convenient it is. The best part is how simple the idea and the application is. You can see in the picture Mansukh Bhai Prajapati, the gentleman who invented the mitti cooler, and similarly many other products which are being sold across the world now. Few other examples of creativity from the business world, especially during COVID era, that I have observed and I want to share here with you. The first one I came across was of a real estate firm called Brigade Enterprises. It is based out of Bangalore, and in this COVID era, when people are not able to walk out of their house either due to lockdown or due to the fear of infection, This organization has created an offering where they are offering online home booking, virtual tour of the potential houses, and video conferencing to help their clients buy houses even during the lockdown. Another example that I have seen is that of an oil refinery dealing with problem of disposing of flying ash, and they went on to identify the use and create the need in the market to sell it, thereby turning an expense into a profit-making idea. So creativity can be in any domain, and it has to be a simple idea which can use the existing technology, existing method, or some kind of an innovation which is easily understood and applied. The three basic principles of creativity are: keep it simple and short. The best creative ideas are the ones, as we have seen in the previous slides, which are very simple and easy to apply and understand. Here I will request you to pause the video and just think about your organization around you. Think about how you in your regular day-to-day work would have used some small creative ideas to make the work more flawless and easy, and how simple the use might be. The second principle is don't reinvent wheel. What this means is try to use existing resources. Best creative ideas are the ones which use minimal resources and use the existing ideas and technology to further innovate on them. And third, and by far the most important, is do more with less. Creativity talks about how can we solve a problem within the existing limitations. Hence, innovation. Creativity is the idea, and innovation is the application of that idea into real world. And hence, a good innovation will be something which will be a combination of KIE: knowledge, imagination, and evaluation. And these are the three functions of creativity: knowledge, imagination, and evaluation. Now, the K for knowledge is something which is very critical. In order to be creative and to be able to innovate, it's extremely important that you know your domain, your subject, your environment, your people extremely well. The second part is imagination. Having just knowledge can be good for analytical decisions or analytical problem solving, but when we are talking about complicated problems, complex problems, where the cause and effect may not be so easily understandable and may be changing with time, we need a lot of imagination to think outside the box and see how what we are trying to do, the risk that we are planning to take, how can it result into the kind of outcome we want. And third is evaluation. This is also the third step of our creative problem solving process. This is where decision making happens. So based on your knowledge, you use your imagination, come up with a brilliant idea or a new idea, and then move on to evaluate whether this idea fits into your decision criteria, fits into your environment situation, and is it feasible for you. So creative problem solving, we are talking about ideas which are workable, applicable, and feasible. So creative problem solving, as I have just shared with you, is approaching a problem in an imaginative and innovative way. Solution is independent of the problem. So you can come up with a totally different solution and have an absolute new breakthrough. It is a part of an overall problem solving process. So as we will see, the first step will be identifying the problem, and then we will move on to understand the other steps of it. Here is one of my favorite quotes from Albert Einstein: problems cannot be solved by thinking within the framework in which the problems were created. And that's where creative problem solving works. What you see on your screens, and the detail of this is also given in the handbook that you would have received along with this course, are the 4 steps of creative problem solving model. The first step is called clarify the problem, where you identify a problem, we conduct the root cause analysis, and then we go on to generate ideas to see what are the more innovative and the new ways of solving the problem. The third step is where we use analytical thinking, and we use certain analytical tools to filter down and decide which of the ideas generated in step number 2 are feasible for us, and then eventually decide upon that one solution that is the best solution workable for our situation. And finally comes plan for action. So no idea is good enough if it's not executed well, or I may say any idea can fail if it's not executed well. So implementation is a very critical part of creative problem solving. We will discuss about that in detail in module 8. And there is a lot of material to read in your handbook as well, which will help you understand all 3 steps in detail. So this brings us to exercise number 5. In the 5th exercise, I will request you to write down 3 creative ideas that either you have applied or come up with, or you have seen being applied in your organization. So pause this video, use your pen and paper, take your time, think about it, and if you can't come up with any idea on an immediate basis, just walk around your organization tomorrow. I'm sure you will see a lot of creative ideas, creative things that people have done to make the work more efficient and easy. The 6th exercise. This involves completing a small pre-assessment given in your document titled the module-wise exercises. So in that document, complete this pre-assessment. There is a scoring key and the description of the score also given at the bottom of the assessment. The purpose of this assessment is self-reflection. It will help you understand right at the beginning of this course that what are the areas which are your strong areas in problem solving, and what are the areas of problem solving and decision making that you need to focus more on, and that will help you make the most of this course. Do complete this before you start your next module. And last of all, the quiz for module 3. The link for this quiz would be given in your description. After completing the module, click on the Google form and complete the quiz. And once you complete the quiz, if you realize there is a certain area of the course which you need to further understand more, you can go back to the video and review that, or use your handbook to read more in detail about it. And once you're sure that you've understood it and you're ready to move on, then you can move on to your next module.